What's going on, guys? This is boy DJ Dead here, back again with another video, and today we are watching Immortal Technique's Poverty of Philosophy. Now, this is going to be the most controversial thing on my channel at this point in time. Immortal Technique is, well, he's the C word us Americans hate, yeah.
Most of my Latino and black people who are struggling to get food, clothes, and shelter in the hood are so concerned with that philosophizing about freedom and social
The beat is so good.
in the hood are so concerned with that philosophizing about freedom and socialist democracy is usually, unfortunately, beyond their rationale.
Yeah, we're all too dumb to understand it.
Don't realize that America can't exist without separating them from their identity, because if we had some sense of who we really are, there's no way in hell we'd allow this country to push its genocidal consensus on our homelands. This ignorance exists, but it can be destroyed. Niggas talk about change and working within the system to achieve that.
That doesn't work.
The problem with always being a conformist is that when you try to change the system from within, it's not you who changes the system, it's the system that will eventually change you. There is
True story. Literally everyone who, assimilate.
usually nothing wrong with compromising a situation, but compromising yourself in a situation is another story completely. And I have seen this happen long enough in the few years that I've been alive to know that it's a serious problem. Latino America is a huge colony of countries whose presidents are cowards in the face of economic imperialism.
Indubitably.
You see, third world countries are rich places, abundant in resources, and many of these countries have the capacity to feed their starving people and the children we always see digging for food and trash on commercials. But plutocracies, in other words, a government run by the rich, such as this one, and traditionally oppressive European states, force the third world into buying overpriced, unnecessary goods while exporting huge portions of their natural resources. I'm quite sure.
Yeah, that's the problem with the countries that are like adjacent to North America. You see, we make them export everything and then they end up having nothing left. The citizens don't end up having anything left. The people at the top of the bureaucracy do, though. Like, everyone, like, all of the people who are, like, kind of the leaders have everything. Matter of fact, enough for millions of people. But they don't distribute it to anyone. Because puppet democracy.
People will look upon my attitude and sentiments and look for hypocrisy and hatred in my words. My revolution is born out of love for my people, not hatred for others.
Exactly. Everyone's always like, oh no, you just hate these people. No. It's the exact opposite.
You see, most of Latinos are here because of the great inflation that was caused by American companies in Latin America. Aside from that, many are seeking a life away from the puppet democracies that were funded by the United States. Places like El Salvador, Guatemala, Peru, Colombia, Nicaragua, Ecuador, and República Dominicana. And not just Spanish-speaking countries either, but Haiti and Jamaica as well. As different as we have been taught to look at each other by colonial society, we are in the same struggle. And until we realize that, we'll be fighting for scraps from the table of a system that has kept us subservient instead of being self-determined. And that's why we have no control over when the embargo will stop in Cuba or when the bombs will stop dropping in Vieques. But you see, here in America, the attitude that is fed to us is that outside of America, there live lesser people. Fuck them, let them fend for...
I have not been saying anything this last minute because I've just been vibing to the sounds of it. But yeah, everything he's been saying is truth, and that is not opinion, that is just truth that is construed in a way by the people of like here trying to like switch it up and say, no, actually that's a good thing or something. Oh, Sweet.
themselves. No, fuck you. They are you. No matter how much you want to dye your hair blonde and put fake eyes in, or follow an anorexic standard of beauty, or no matter how many diamonds you buy from people who exploit your own.
The diamonds and everything just make no sense. That was just a cash grab. Yeah, we actually have an incredibly large amount of gold and diamond reserves in Central America and West Africa that we just keep in vaults and put out a little bit each year so that the people can't get more of it, because that would drop the value of it. It's ridiculous. It's regulation so the people spend more. It's crazy. Like, the diamond ring standard, it's ridiculous. As much as I say that, it would be offensive in this current day not to follow it.
To get them, no matter what kind of car you drive,
at least that's how it would seem.
What kind of fancy clothes you put on, you will never be them. They're always gonna look at you as nothing but a little monkey. I'd rather be proud of what I am rather than desperately try to be something I'm really not, just to fit in. And whether we want to accept it or not, that's what this culture or lack of culture is feeding us. I want a better life for my family and for my children, but it doesn't have to be at the expense of millions of lives in my homeland. We're given the idea that if we didn't have these people to exploit, that America wouldn't be rich enough to let us have these little petty material things in our lives and basic standards of living. No, that's wrong. It's the business giants and the government officials who make all the real money. We have whatever they kick down to us. My enemy is not the average white man. It's not the kid down the block or the kids I see on the street. My enemy is the white man I don't see.
Somewhat true. The point where it's not true is people who pretend that they don't gain from this current system. I gain. I'm not gonna say don't.
The people in the White House, the
but that doesn't change anything. By me saying that, I mean.
Monopoly owners, fake liberal politicians, those are my enemies. The generals of the armies that are mostly conservative, those are the real motherfuckers that I need to bring it to. Not the poor, broke, country-ass soldier that's too stupid to know shit about the way things are set up. In fact, I have more in common with most working and middle-class white people than I do with most rich black and Latino people.
Yeah, that's called classism.
As much as racism bleeds America, we need to understand that classism is the real issue. Many of us are in the same boat.
I wouldn't say the real issue, I'd say a just as big of an issue.
And it's sinking while these bougie motherfuckers ride on the luxury liner. And as long as we keep fighting over kicking people out of the little boat we're all in, we're gonna miss an opportunity to gain a better standard of living as a whole. In other words, I don't want to escape the plantation. I want to come back, free all my people, hang the motherfucker that kept me there, and burn the house to the goddamn ground. I want to take over the encomienda and give it back to the people who work the land. You cannot change the past, but you can make the future. And anyone who tells you different is a fucking lethargic devil.
Exactly. I hate the people who are just like, oh yeah, can we just move on? Well, we can move on when things are changed. And still I see no changes.
I don't look at a few token Latinos and black people in the public eye as some type of achievement for my people as a whole. Most of those successful individuals are just sellouts and house Negroes. But I don't consider brothers a sellout if they move out of the ghetto. Poverty has nothing to do with our people. It's not in our culture to be poor. That's only been the last 500 years of our history. Look at the last 2,000 years of our existence and what we brought to the world in terms of science, mathematics, agriculture, and forms of government. You know the idea of a confederation of provinces where one federal government controls the states? The Europeans who came to this country stole that idea from the Iroquois League. The idea...
Fun fact, that is absolutely true what they're saying.
The idea of impeaching a ruler comes from an Aztec tradition. That's why Montezuma was stoned to death by his own people, because he represented the agenda of white Spaniards once he was captured, not the Aztec people who would become Mexicans. So in conclusion, I'm not gonna vote for anybody just because they black or Latino. They have to truly represent the community and represent what's good for all of us proletariat.
Exactly, that's why I still hate Obama. Oops. Yeah, if you don't know proletariat, it's just a fancy way of saying working class. Well, I'm not going to repeat that. That was great. I rate that 10,000 out of 10. If you would like to see more of that specific type of content, leave in the comments below or just like the video. You can do either one. I'd prefer if you did everything, but that's not how the world works. So you can save energy and just scroll through YouTube for the next 5 hours instead of taking half a second to click the like button and subscribe. See?